So tonight for dinner, I'm going to do my take on Taco Bell's chicken gordita, but I'm going to do it with a homemade flour tortilla shell and crock pot chicken. So this is all the ingredients that you're going to need. Now what you want to do is you want to start off with just your regular Old El Paso or any normal taco seasoning that you would put in ground beef. Now this season requires you to mix it with 3/4 of a cup of water. So just go ahead and mix that up into a mixing glass and set it to the side. So then you're going to take your chicken thighs, which I prefer chicken thighs over chicken breast just because chicken thighs have a little more fat in them and they have a little more flavor. The chicken breast can get a little bit dry, so I tend to go with the dark meat. But we are feeding 4 guys tonight, and we are most definitely going to have leftovers for lunch tomorrow, which is perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with 12 of these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So just go ahead and toss them into the bottom of your crock pot. Take a can of Rotel Hatch chilies, take the top off, and just dump it right in. Now, when I mix and stir this in, you don't really have to go crazy, but you do want to just incorporate it. You know, as time goes on and this stuff cooks, I always check back on it, give it a nice little light stir just to make sure everything is cooking evenly. But in the beginning, you don't have to really go crazy. Just kind of get it incorporated, make sure everything is below the little water juice line, and put the lid back on. So I went ahead and I set the crock pot for 4 hours on high. It's not going to need all 4 hours. It actually only needs about 3 hours, but it only has a 4-hour setting. So these are the veggies that I'm going to use to make the pico. It's cilantro, jalapeno, sweet Vidalia onion, and plum tomatoes. Now I like to leave the seeds on my jalapenos just to make it a little more spicy. So if you don't want it quite as hot as ours, just take those seeds out. But go ahead and chop it all up, push it all into a mixing bowl like I'm doing here, and then grab your can of drained whole kernel non-salted corn. I like the non-salted because I want to be able to control the salt at the very end. So I go non-salted, keeps it from getting away from me. So once you got the corn in, I just take 2 limes, cut them in half, squeeze the 4 halves in. So now just hit it with some basic granulated garlic. I'm going to come in with some coarse ground black pepper. No, let's use the big side. Let's get to business with this side here. So again, I'm not afraid of pepper. We like spice at the fire station. And then a little salt on top to taste. And last but not least was the ground cumin. I really like ground cumin in my pico. It's what really gives it that nice, almost like a salsa kind of taste. Now you don't have to use cumin if you don't like cumin, but I really prefer it. So once you get the cumin mixed in, just go ahead and stir it all up really good. What you're going to do as well when you're done with this, put a little saran wrap over it, put it in the refrigerator, and in about 2 hours in, go stir it one more time because that lime is going to break everything down. So if you guys know me, or maybe you're learning by now, I like to keep everything nice, clean, and tidy as I go. So I'm always going to be wiping up behind myself on that surface, especially if I have any kind of poultry products or anything that's going to leave bacteria. I do not like cross-contamination. I don't want anyone to get sick from my cooking. So I've got a nice little mixture of water vinegar here. So wipe everything down. And then of course, any dishes that are left, go ahead and wash them as I go. Cutting board gets a little bit of Dawn detergent, a little extra glasses and cups that I have. Go ahead and wash that, rinse everything out as well. And just keep everything nice and tidy as I go. All right, so it is lunchtime. So once I got all of that stuff prepped and just cooking and in the refrigerator hanging out, marinating, getting better, I'm just going to go ahead and eat a quick little steak. Now this is a pot roast, you guys. One side of this pot roast is a chuck eye, the other side is a Denver, and then right at the very tail end, close to my hand, is just a little tougher piece of that chuck roll style meat. But this is a really good, cheap, inexpensive steak. So for those of you that are trying to keep your macros up with protein and whatnot, I recommend looking for these little things. But Denver steak and chuck eyes, that's commonly how they'll be sold. Or if you know how to look for them, you can just buy a chuck roast, like a standard pot roast, which I'll probably do a video showing you guys how I look for that stuff coming up here soon. But I just want to throw it on a grill, hot as can be. It's a really thin steak, so it cooks really fast. So I want the heat as high as I can get it. And And once I flip it 1 or 2 times, I go ahead and pull it off. Now I don't really worry about overcooking these little steaks because they're so thin. It's going to be impossible to get it medium and get a sear at the same time. So sometimes you have to sacrifice, you know, that perfect medium for getting that little crunch on the steak. And me, I would prefer to have the crunch. So after it's rested for about 3 or 4 minutes, take a couple bites. It's cooked about medium well, but it's still really tender because it's a really nice cut of meat. So I enjoy sitting outside having lunch every day. As many days as I can, get outside. I love it. You guys know me, I'm an outdoor guy. I love to fish, love to do anything in the outdoors. So having lunch out here is perfectly fine with me. All right, so let's head back into the kitchen. Now, I want to focus on making the flour Gordita shells. So these Gordita shells are going to be very similar to the naan bread that I've done in previous videos. If you haven't got a chance to check that video out, I did a dairy-free Indian dish with naan bread. This is very similar to that. So what I'll do is I'll start off in a mixing bowl. I'll take 3 cups of the King Arthur bread flour. Then I come in with 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then I do 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'll hit it with 3/4 of a cup of oil and 1 full cup of warm water. So I'm going to cheat a little bit today, and I'm going to use the KitchenAid stand mixer. So I'll just go ahead and lock it into the bowl, lock the top down, turn it up to number 1 just to get it started so it doesn't slosh out. I got my little paddle mixer on there, so it'll make nice quick work of it. Then I just bump it up to number 2, get it moving just a little bit faster. And I tell you guys, this does not take long at all. You don't have to run it for anything more than like maybe a minute or 2 at the most, because you're going to finish kneading it out on the table. So there I am pulling it out. Set this out of the way because I am going to need that surface to start kneading the dough. But first I need to pull it off of this little paddle. And it smells unbelievable at this point. If you're not used to making your homemade bread or any type of bread products, tortillas, etc., you should, guys. It's very simple and it's so tasty. So now I'll take a little bit of that King Arthur flour, throw it down, take my big glob of dough, and I'm just going to start kneading it. So as you see, I'm just kind of working the air bubbles out right now. I'm making sure that the consistency is nice and even. Just a little bit of push, pull, and when I pull it, you notice I'm folding it right back into the middle. And that's what you want to do. Just kind of grab the edges, stretch it out, and bring it back into the middle. And you're just going to continue to do this for about the next 2 to 3 minutes, something like that. As you see, it's starting to get nice and smooth. It's not really sticking. So that tells me that, you know, the water to flour consistency was spot on. If I needed it to be a little bit more dry, I could add flour. If it was a little bit too dry, I could always add just a tiny bit of water. So once it's made a little ball, take a big knife, cut it in half, and we're only going to work with half of it at a time. Now I'm trying to make 12 of these Gordita shells. So all I do is I take the bread, cut it in half, and now I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out. Kind of like if you were to roll a rolling pin. It's just going to kind of look like that, I guess you could say. So start with the middle, and roll out to the edges. So once it's kind of the same cylindrical shape through and through, go ahead and start cutting it up. So, you know, you can cut it in half, and then you can cut it into other little smaller pieces. But what I wanted to do here is I wanted to just get an idea of how big of a piece I needed. And I noticed really quick, oops, I cut that one too small. But it's not a problem because it's raw dough. So all you gotta do is just put it back in with that other side, reform it like you see me doing here, and no harm, no foul. You won't even know that anything has changed. No one's gonna know that you made a mistake there unless you watch this video. So then once I reform it, just go ahead and go right back to cutting them slightly bigger than what I test cut. So there you go. 3 on the left, 3 on the right. That gives me 6. And then same thing on this side. Roll it out, cut it in half, 3 on the left, 3 on the right, and now we got 12 clumps. So now we'll toss a little bit of flour down and let's roll these things out. Now, this is home cooking, you guys. This isn't restaurant style presentation. Just if it's not perfectly round, it's okay. No one's going to care. It's going to taste fantastic either way. So just throw it down on the table. Try to make it as round as you can. You see me, I don't even have a rolling pin. I've got a cup. It's not even smooth. It's got texture to it, which I kind of thought was pretty cool. When I rolled it out, it made it have like some little indentions to it. but just roll it out. If it's a roundish shape, it's good enough. You can always form it better with your hand later if you want to. So what you do now is take that bread over to a cast iron skillet, put it on a medium-high heat, wipe it with a little vegetable shortening is fine, or if you have a specific oil that you prefer with the other, do that. And then just toss those little tortilla shells raw down onto the pan. Now you notice I'm pointing to the one on the left. It's got bubbles in it. When it starts to make those bubbles, that lets you know it's time to turn it. And is this one here, you see, 2 small bubbles. Perfect. Go ahead and flip it over. Once you flip it, it only takes about 30 more seconds or so, and these things are going to be ready to pull off. So these are my very last 2 I wanted to show you. So I'll grab my plate, grab the spatula, scoop them up. There's number 11, and there's number 12 going on right there. So I kill the heat, and I wanted to show you what these things look like because they are beautiful. Not too thin, not overly thick, perfectly pillowy Gordita shells. All right, so let's unplug the crock pot and turn our attention to the chicken. So all I'm doing, guys, I'm taking 2 forks and I'm just shredding the chicken. So just shred it, pulling it apart basically, and you just want to get it into small pieces. That way when you start to load it into that Gordita shell, it's not big chunks of meat. It's smaller, kind of stringier pieces. So here we go. Let's build this thing. Gordita shell first. Shredded chicken comes down on it next. You see, I'm just kind of picking through. Some pieces are still a little big. It's okay. It's homemade. Put that on the shell. Come on in with that pico. Pico is so good, you guys. You're going to love that pico. You can put that pico on just about anything. So go ahead and load it up on top of the chicken. Now this is some really yummy Heinz street corn sauce. We buy this stuff pre-made. I also make a really good sauce that I'll show you in another video coming up. But I wanted to do one with that street corn sauce, and I wanted to do another one with a slightly different sauce. So same thing. Gordita shell first. Shredded chicken goes down next. Now you don't want to get too much chicken because you want it to be a nice even bite. So just gotta be mindful of that as you're plating this thing up. Nice couple big healthy scoops of the pico. Set that down. Now this is the sauce that we're going to use as well. It's a cilantro lime sauce by Hernandez. It's very tasty, but I have, again, another sauce that I can show you that I like to make. I was just kind of running out of time here at this point, and these guys were getting hungry. So there we go. 2 little tacos. One's a little different than the other. Take it over here to the table. And my buddy, he's going to put the cojilla cheese on. He loves that stuff. Shredded cheese will work perfectly fine too. And there you go. That is my take on Taco Bell's chicken gordita.